Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is Sunday evening. I'd like to welcome you to the Detroit Fan Forum. I am Mark. We are going to be shortly joined by Uncle Hermdo, but there's a lot to talk about. Do we love Brad Holmes? Do we hate Brad Holmes? Do we love the Tigers? Do we hate the Tigers? Um, the news hasn't been all that exciting, but we do have some March Madness to talk about. I have some opinions I'd like to share on some of the free agency signings. They're not name breaking headline busters, but we're going to get into that and why so many people clamor for us to be that team. And then we're going to ask you to like and subscribe. Um, a little different setup here now. I'm going to start having people sit here with me at the table. I think this is going to hopefully take this experience to the next level. We're going to have Hermdo live in studio for the draft. So just getting ready for that. And there's plenty more to talk about. But like I said, like and subscribe. The channel's been blowing up. We're going to get more into that too. So, oh, that's this is where it all comes down to, folks. This is that part of the season where you've got March Madness to talk about. You have spring training hype that you can buy into. You have Red Wings hockey, Pistons playoffs, and you have the up and coming draft, right? This is where Lions fans are, I would say, usually the most uncomfortable. Brad Holmes went out and made I would like to think, a bounty of moves that identified as more efficient than last year. He got younger and he got more cost effective at a lot of positions of needs, setting us up to seemingly make a few additional veteran signings. I think he's already checked the box on depth and youth. Now I think you're going to go and see maybe some more of I don't want to say headline buster, but you're going to see some more household names being signed because there is still cap space, there is still room, there's plenty of opportunity for veterans that are chasing rings to come to this team, and then I think that's what we all have to calm down and realize, right? A lot of you are out there clamoring and saying, okay, well, it's not like the guy did anything, blew my mind. He hasn't won us a Super Bowl. Well, listen, I'm going to tell you right now, no one in Lions history has won us a Super Bowl. So um, I don't fault Brad there. And then we're going to take a look at too. So some of these other teams are doing right now. Who's gotten better? Who's gotten worse? Who's lost a ton of talent? Right? Who's going to be having that year that we kind of had, where you're just kind of keeping you're just kind of keeping the fans warm, knowing that it's not going to be that crazy of a season. Because when I think about it, right, we lost, we shed a lot of weight from that first rebuild, and we brought in a lot of new faces to create a lot of new competition, right? Maybe in some areas where it was starting to get a little stale. So I think, really when you look at the defensive line, they got really younger, right? With DJ Wanham, he's an edge, got him 1 year, 6 million, and Peyton Turner, who was a former first rounder from the Saints. We signed him too. So those two guys that just kind of give us a new edge in that locker room that we were seemingly missing last year, right? And then you look at Pacheco and Montgomery. Pacheco is a much more complimentary back to Gibbs, right? And that's what most Lions fans have to understand, that David Montgomery was brought here in 2023 and what we consider a pretty exciting free agency era or year. And he came here to start. We didn't know what we had in Gibbs, right? So he came here to be a starting running back. Well, he clearly lost his job and went on to another team to start because he views himself, and I think he is a starting running back. So Pacheco understands he's coming here to take a back seat, but be a complimentary back because he does a lot of things that Gibbs does well, right? Plus, he's a little bit younger. So I'm really excited to see that. I mean, that's 1 year, $1.8 million. That's a great that's great value for getting younger and more complimentary. And I think Lions fans are going to fall in love with this situation. But speaking of falling in love, let's get to Uncle Hermdo. He's here in the lobby. We're going to walk him in. Uncle Hermdo. Oh, sorry. I can hear you, brother. How's life treating you, sir? Oh, maybe I can't hear you. I can't hear you, sir. And I don't know why. Oh.
Sorry, I had it on mute. My bad. Sorry.
It's okay.
Rookie
It's okay.
mistake.
It's okay.
Jeez Louise.
It's
Oh, I just
it's
got done making
because
a YouTube video, so I just mute the mic so people don't hear me farting and burping after I get done. Um, so lots of stuff going on in the sporting world. We get Michigan and Michigan State moving on to the Sweet 16.
Mhm.
Michigan with the victory over St. Louis. Michigan State with a victory over Louisville, I believe, who was, I don't know if they were the 6th seed. I can't remember off the top of my head. I should be paying more attention to it, considering I talk sports for a hobby. But
for a hobby.
what are you going to do? Red Wings, kind of jockeying for position in the wild card. They lost a game. They won against the Calgary Flames. They won a huge game against the Montreal Canadiens. Alex DeBrincat has been absolutely on fire. Unfortunately, they lost against the Bruins 4-2 last night. It's just this was the 4-point wild card collision. Detroit outplayed Boston for long stretches. Totally got after Jeremy Swayman with 43 shots, 22 in the third period alone. But he was a wall. He made 41 saves. Lucas Raymond and DeBrincat provided the offense, and John Gibson made his return to the crease. He stopped 23 or 26 shots. Unfortunately, a surprising third period wrist shot from Bruins defender Nikita Zadorov broke the 2-2 tie, and Boston iced it with an empty netter. As of right now, Boston's victory has moved them to 39, 23, and 8, giving them a crucial 2-point cushion over Detroit. The Red Wings, they're sitting at 38, 24, and 8. Detroit is still clinging to the final wildcard spot, but their margin for error is effectively gone. They got to really play mistake-free hockey. John Gibson, he's been letting a few too many of them in lately, and that's been a real shame. But yeah, right now with Gibson and Kopp trickling back in the lineup, the Wings are getting healthier. It looks good. They have to bounce back immediately. They're hosting the Senators this coming Tuesday before heading to KeyBank Center on Friday to face the Atlantic leading Buffalo Sabres. I never thought I'd say that this soon, but they got a lot of talent on that team. It's about time they started making some noise in the division. But every point is mandatory right now. It's one of those things. Wings really got to lock in. They absolutely have to lock in. But also in the news, our good friend and friend of the show, Cade Cunningham, has suffered a collapsed lung. I don't know if he's vaping too much, what the deal with that is, but he's going to be missing quite a bit of time as the Red Wings. Yeah, as the Pistons. They're beating up on the bad teams. They slapped around the Wizards the other night, but now it's kind of the Jalen Duren led Pistons. I don't know what the time frame. I don't know if you've heard anything about Cade coming back. No. I don't know how you want to attack this, but
it's one of those things I think where they're just going week by week, right? I think I've heard 1 to 2 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks. I've also heard prepare to not even have him for the first round of the playoffs, which nobody wants to hear that. So
no.
I am proceeding with caution about this whole situation, whether it's speculating on a return date or severity. All I know is he went into surgery. These athletes, they're treated like, they get the good old alien technology when it comes to surgery and recovery, which, if only Hitch had. I have not heard a lot, and I'm not poking around. I know it sounds ignorant, but I'm just trying to keep my head focused. Jalen Duren has done a really nice job, but so has Dennis Jenkins, Marcus Sasser, Ron Holland, Duncan Robinson. Tobias Harris. They've all done a nice
Yes.
job at being the focal point of each part of the game. There's not just been one person who's stepped up for Cade, right? They're all doing their job, which is really nice to see. And you're right. We've been beating up on some less than desirable teams, but um,
Mm-hmm.
it still speaks to how they're beating those teams. They're not squeaking by. They're going out there and they're dominating and playing Pistons basketball. So um, I remain optimistic about this, but also
Yes.
it's some shitty news. Let's be honest.
Absolutely. I mean, the key piece, your superstar, your bread and butter in Kate
Yep.
Cunningham went out. It stinks, but you got to be positive. I understand your approach to it totally. You don't want to speculate too much. You don't want to
Nope.
get too deep into it. You just want to keep a clear head about it and just hope for the best, going in. Obviously, any team loses their superstar. It's a huge, huge issue. It's a big issue for the Pistons right now. It's kind of one of those things. Things were going really well for the Pistons. Yeah, they had some adversity here and there, a little bit of a losing streak here and there. But I mean, they're able to pull back together and rattle off some more wins. They're in the middle of a 3-game win streak now. But Jalen Duren, he's pretty much he's been stepping up. He's pretty much a double machine every night. He's taking care of business. Sar Thompson, he's still playing great defense. Tobias Harris provides that stability. 88% free throws. As a secondary option, obviously, but yeah, you like what you see from the guys. They're able to step up, but
Yeah.
without
They really
Cade,
do.
this team, they got some limitations, unfortunately. But there's no
They're
need to panic. I say, no need to panic. There's no need to freak out about this kind of stuff because sometimes, it seems lately for Detroit sports, every once in a while the team gets some momentum and then they fall flat on their face. It just or something
yeah.
unforeseen happens.
Yeah.
It happens to every sports team, every sports city, except probably for Boston because they just keep winning titles left and right. But yeah, it's just one of those. It's just one of those things. So we'll see. We'll see how the Pistons rebound from this, and hopefully can keep it together long enough to function without Cade for the remainder of the season. The play-in I believe tournament begins on the 14th of April. I'm not sure, but yeah, we'll try to stay positive. Be positive is our blood type.
It is. It is, especially when it comes to the Pistons. I mean, you have to keep in mind that this season is kind of a blessing in disguise. It was not
Mm-hmm.
expected. They're
No.
clearly ahead of schedule on everything you want them to be, plus more, and the ceiling's still high with this team, right? So you just kind of, like
Yes.
I said, I'm gonna keep focused and just keep my head down. I mean, they're going to be playing the Lakers coming up next, which,
Mm-hmm.
we talked about Luke Kennard being a big 3-point shooter. He helped them win their last
Yes.
game with his game winner against the Magic.
Yeah.
So as much as I love to see Kevin Herter out there being a consistent white guy, I do want to say that the one thing I wish the Pistons would get is a little bit more of an answer to a 3-point, game.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
when we do have these big wins, what's cutting us down is not having an answer to the 3-point on the other side, right?
Yeah. That's been an issue.
Miami ripped us apart on that one.
Yes.
Anyways, that's all. But still hopeful. And Hermdo, um, we didn't really talk a lot about it because who gives a shit? But I keep seeing a lot of Kevin McConnell uh, articles
Hype.
about him being, the number one prospect right now in baseball,
Mm-hmm.
and Max Clark being like, the number 13th.
Yeah.
They've already said I think Max Clark is going to play at AAA or start the season at AAA. And I think did you make a Hermdo guarantee that Max or Kevin McConnell will be a starting
Yeah.
one
He'll
of the
probably be the
starting?
starting short. He's going to be there opening day.
Okay.
That's a Hermdo guarantee.
Okay, I thought that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Yeah, they're saying he has his bat, right? His the equivalent of the Vladimir Guerrero Jr. rookie year, right? Like that's
Yeah.
how much power and I don't even want to say power, just power, but consistency and
Yes.
how sick his bat is. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the Tigers to take the field. I haven't really gave too much focus of spring training this year.
Hmm.
Baseball as a whole hasn't really been on my radar as much, but obviously with Verlander coming back, and they're saying we've got like the number two best rotation in baseball. It'll be fun to
Yeah.
start the season off.
Yeah. Opening day. You better get on that baseball train because opening day is this Thursday. But
Is it really? Wow. Okay.
yeah, which I find hard to believe. I just looked it up real quick, but I
Wow.
thought I knew it was at the end of March, but I mean I didn't realize how quickly this month was going by. I mean we're already into spring, and we're gonna have baseball, and I'm gonna buy that Detroit Tigers package for from Illich Entertainment or whatever. So we're gonna be watching
Oh
some
shit.
baseball. We're gonna be having some fun. But yeah, I got some stats from some of the young guns on the Tigers team if you want to go in that direction. But let's talk about our good friend of the show, Kevin McGonigal, the shortstop, arguably the best pure hitter in the minor leagues. McGonigal has dominated 2026 spring training, hitting 400 with a 1.167 OPS, absolutely outstanding. Scouts rave about a 70 grade hit tool and elite plate discipline. He often walks more than he strikes out. Manager AJ Hint has been highly complimentary, and there's significant buzz that he can make the opening day roster as the starting shortstop. So I definitely think there's a lot of buzz for it. I definitely think the kid's in. I don't have to see anything else from him. I haven't watched too much spring training. I've been following along here and there, but Kevin McGonigal is the truth. He's absolutely the truth. But let's talk about Max Clark a little bit. Now, Max Clark, he's been making some errors. He's been having a little bit of issues defensively, but he's still, an elite athlete, double plus speed, plus glove, center field, despite some of the mistakes he's been making. But he's his power has developed. He's at 14 home runs between high A and double A, and he's probably going to start the year in Erie, which is double A. But we could see him in Detroit during the September call ups. I'm going to go ahead. That's a Hermdale guarantees too. We're going to see Max Clark, Kevin McGonigal opening day, and we're going to see Max Clark in September. That's a Hermdale guarantee. One thing that concerns me about Max Clark, he's going on Instagram. He's got
Oh
the
boy.
watches.
I was
He's
waiting
got the
for it.
ice. Yeah, he's going on there. He's being a big shot. He's being an ego guy. I don't like that kind of shit. I don't like that kind of shit. I'm like Mike Illich. I don't like any hot dogs on my team. And Max Clark, his performance has been good. One of those things you got to be humble. I want humble athletes. That's one of the things I love about Detroit sports. We got a lot of humble guys in this city, and I hope Max Clark I know he's a young kid. He's probably 21, 22 years old, but he's got some maturing to do. And Mark is looking under his desk. Maybe he dropped something down there. I don't know. Where's Mark? What's he doing? Okay, he's back in his chair. He dropped his mouse. That's too bad.
I dropped
Can't drop that.
my Max Clark silver chain.
Your Max Clark silver chain, yes. But yeah, so hopefully we get some more maturity from the kid. But let's also talk about Bryce Rayner, another shortstop prospect. He was a 2024 first round pick. He lived up to the hype in his pro debut, slashing 288, 383, and 448 with 9 stolen bases in Lakeland. He's a tall, athletic shortstop with massive raw power potential. He's being brought along more slowly than McGonigal, has the highest superstar ceiling in the system. So might be seeing more Bryce Rayner. I don't know. I mean, could he compete with Kevin McGonigal, or does he still need a little bit of seasoning like the Salt Bay guy does? But also some other names. We got Josue Brinseno, breakout star who had 20 home runs in 2025. He is currently transitioning between catcher and first base to fast track his elite power to the big leagues. We also have How Yu Lee, acquired from the
What?
Michael Lorenzen trade. Lee is at AAA Toledo and is viewed as a primary
Oh,
utility bench depth. The Tigers face infield injuries this summer. The next wave pitching, well, the system is hitter heavy. Jaden Ham, who is a right-hander, and Malachi Witherspoon, another right-hander, are names to watch. Ham is expected to lead the Double-A Erie rotation this year. Many of the prospects featured in the spring breakout game on March 20th were Bryce Rayner and Mike Clark, both recorded RBIs in a showcase of this team's future core. So some good stuff
a lot of
coming
young
out of
names, a lot of new
spring training.
names.
Lots of things to look forward to. having a farm system is still like an elite farm system is still something I'm getting used to as a Tigers fan. But
Well, did you see your
um,
buddy Hobby for Bobby's in the comments? We love that. Thank you so much. He said he's excited for the Tigers. He's excited for his kid to go to bed. A
yes,
great rotation coming either way.
absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, Bobby, whoever you are.
Yes.
I wonder who it could be. But yeah, definitely have to be excited about. We got Tigers baseball coming up. We got some young dynamic prospects up. We got a really good starting rotation. We spent a
Well,
lot of money this season. We're spending a quarter billion, baby.
a
We're gonna
quarter
go there.
billion,
We're
eh?
we're taking where Tigers are putting on their big boy pants. I'm excited for the Kansas City Monarchs this year. Lewis Chickpea and Delray Busweather, real hitters. I'll take your word for that. I'll take your word for that.
That's
Thank you,
Herb
Herb
Welch.
Welch. Good old Herb. Always, always, always offering.
Up his dated opinion. Yes.
Yes, yes.
Though I can't overlook this, right? Um, no matter what, Hermdo, we've talked about this before, right?
Hmm.
Um, free agency is Lions fans, and I
Yes.
thought to myself, the last time the Lions won the headlines in free agency, do you remember who that was and what that was?
I'm Jeez. I'm trying to think. When's the last time Lions had a really good free agency?
I'm not
Uh,
saying it worked out. I'm just saying spent
yeah,
the most money, right?
spent the
Like,
most
because I keep
money.
thinking about this, because the last episode we did, we stayed away from free agency, and Brad Holmes made some signings, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Nothing crazy, nothing page turning. He just made younger, cheaper, uh, rotational signings, right? Something we expected
yeah,
him to do. But I started to think to myself, okay, we also brought up the stat of how good teams don't win the headlines. But you have so many angry fans out there clamoring, right, for that uh that headline, that breaking
yeah.
news, Lions signed dot 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 to this big deal, right? To get all this positive buzz. And I thought to myself, really, when was the last time that was? That was Trey Flowers in the
Oh,
Bob Quinn,
jeez.
Matt Patricia, the Quinn Trisha era.
Yeah.
Um, and it was 5 years, $90 million, or 3 years, $90 million.
Hmm.
And then there was a corner too that they signed. I'm having a hard time remembering too, but
Back
it
in the
was
Patricia era.
yeah, it was like a 3 year, 60, $70 million deal. Anyways, we spent all that money, and we saw how that worked out, right? So
Yeah,
I
it
want to
did.
I want to remind fans, like, losing a guy like Mohammed, right, is
Hmm.
also gaining a guy like DJ Wonham or Peyton Turner. You don't know
Yeah.
these names until they come here, and they benefit from playing with Hutch, and they benefit from playing in this system, right? So I don't know. Just I want people to really regain focus, because I do think there's some money on the table, and I do feel like you're going to get some type of veteran leadership signing on the defensive end, that it may appease people, but you'll also see that Brad does not have to rush out and get these guys. And
No.
no, there
Everything.
will be no
Everything's a
Marcus
one.
Davenport.
Yeah. No, no. Thank God for that.
Oh,
Well,
Jesus.
saw the writing on the wall with that. That was one of those things you kind of like go like Brad Holmes, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah,
And
that
it gives
was.
it gives fuel to like the Brad Holmes haters, as we all know. But
Yep.
yeah, I mean the multi-year deal he handed out was to Cade Mays. That was 3 years, $25 million. Everybody else, Isaiah Pacheco, 1 year, 1.8 million,
You got
prove
him
it
on the
deal.
cheap,
Roger
dude.
McCreary, a cornerback, 1 year projected nickel starter. Tyler Conklin, tight end, 1 year stability behind Laporta. DJ Wanham, who's an edge from the Panthers, 1 year pass rush depth. Greg Dortch, who's going to replace Khalif Raymond on a 1 year deal.
Yep.
Larry Borum, offensive tackle, got him from the Bears and got him to a 1 year deal, swing tackle depth. Damone Clark, linebacker, Texans, 1 year high tackle floor. And we got Peyton Turner, defensive end from the Saints. He's a 1 year former first round flyer. So, yeah, it's it's solid. This is the kind of moves you need to make, under the radar moves, filling out the roster spots. Get in positions of need.
And
taking
getting
care of
younger
business.
too, right? Let's not forget about this.
Yes,
Getting
yes,
younger in positions where we have lots of injuries. So getting younger is
yes,
the key thing right here. So we have uh all right, we got the captain. This was a big offseason for Holmes and the Lions, and it's fair to say it's been underwhelming. They're not acting like a team that has Super Bowl aspirations. So thank you for the comment. Hope you like and subscribe, please. And we
yes.
appreciate you joining us tonight. But that's kind of what I'm talking about, Hermdo. I feel like Lions fans are waiting for a they signed Joey Bosa to a 1 year, $8 million deal, right?
Yeah,
Or they sign, there just has to be something that says I care. And I know it's petty, but that's what Lions fans are asking for. They're asking for it's our turn to be that team now that gets to bring these guys in, right? That other teams like the Bills, the Patriots, so forth, all these other winning teams do.
yeah.
And I don't think that's too unfair to ask. I really don't.
Oh no, no. I mean, I can understand. It's not a very exciting free agency for the Lions,
Yeah.
and some
It's
people are
just
just like, "Hey, what's
roster
the deal
filling.
here?" It's just roster filling, just plugging holes,
Yep.
essentially. And that's kind of been Brad Holmes' mo, and he's had success with it. He's done a solid job bringing in free agents.
Yeah.
It's just as of right now, it's just like Lions are just a homegrown team right now, and we're going to be growing through the draft. And that's Brad Holmes' method, and it
Yep.
pisses people off. And you want to sign the Max Crosbys, you want to sign uh, the aforementioned Joey Bosa's. You want to get Trey Hendrickson in here and everything like that, but it's just not really, Lions. Maybe they're not really able to swing those deals right now. I don't know. Maybe it's an issue with Holmes. Maybe you can clown him for that a little bit. If we're just being, if we're trying to, throw some, breadcrumbs out to the audience here, the Brad
So
Holmes haters, who we always are
would
dating, but
would this silence the Brad Holmes haters? Lions go out and get, and these are 1 year deals. Joey Bosa and Taylor Decker. They bring Taylor Decker back on a 1 year. I mean, he asked for his release, assuming there would be a bigger market for him, right? And I'm assuming the Lions wanted him to
yeah,
take a massive pay cut, and he said, "No, I'm going to go out and test. Give me my release. There's got to be a bigger market for myself." Would you
yeah, he's with the
would
Texans now.
he did? Taylor Decker?
Yeah, according to Google.
No shit. Taylor Decker signed with the Texans? Wow. Let's see.
Yeah, that's what they told me.
Hermdo.
I got this article here. Hold on one
I'm not
second.
seeing anything
Maybe I
about
can bring
Taylor
it over, share
Decker.
my screen real quick.
I don't see anything about Taylor Decker
Hold
for the
on.
Texans.
Yeah, hang on one second. Let me try to share my screen here. Do.
Are we working off of
Uh
different
Here it is
universes?
right here. This might be this might be here. Oh, there it is. Key players are free.
Oh, you're
Lions, Decker Federal play for the Lions is not a free agent. But that's the link they gave me. Just the reads.
Yeah, I was gonna say everything I
I mean,
see
Google,
is like 5 hours ago where he just says his free agency blunder could force him back to the Lions. Um,
yeah. Well, how would you like that?
yeah, so I think if you could get
Yeah,
him back
I
here
don't know.
on the sheet.
Maybe the city went to the. Yeah, this is the link they gave me. I'm not seeing anything about the Houston Texans in here, so maybe it's both. Maybe Google. That fucking AI shit, I tell you, man. But yeah, I don't know. But so maybe Taylor Decker is still in play. Maybe we could bring him back. If that would, if that's something fans would want. But solidify that position down on the offensive line. For one more year anyway. And I
Yeah,
mean,
I think he
maybe
overplayed his hand
adding a
big
Joey
time.
Bosa. I don't know how realistic that would be, but
Can you hear me out there, sir?
I'm just saying. What's that?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Sorry. Just seemed like there was
Okay.
an
Yeah. No, it's
overlap.
okay.
with your you got a
Oh yeah,
little
maybe.
you got a little squiggly, so that's why I was wondering.
Oh no, it's okay. It might be my internet. It's just my internet does whatever it wants to do. I feel they haven't gotten better. We'll need a huge draft to get back to where we expect them to be. That's pretty much what I'm banking on, honestly, Captain GR 007 or whatever your name is. Thank you for joining us tonight, of course, again. But that's probably what we're going to be looking for, honestly. If I'm trying to take a more pragmatic approach right now, just understanding what Brad Holmes's methods have been since he's been with the Lions. I'm not expecting any big surprises this year. I think he's going to have a good draft. I think we'll get the needs. I think maybe we'll get an edge. Maybe we'll get some offensive tackle, somebody to put next to or put on the opposite side of Panay Sewell. Somebody fill those spots. Replace some guys. Unless they bring Taylor Decker back, I don't know. I don't know what Taylor wants to do, but yeah, I feel like I need to be washed like Taylor Decker's contract hitches smoking hand. Thank you for that. Take a shower. You probably stink. I got to take a shower. I'm a stinky boy too. I'm a stinky
Well, I'll
boy
tell
too,
you what.
working lots of hours.
Um, I said it last, I think 2 episodes ago. I still think this is where you're going to see him go out, like you said, and get the Penne replacement on the right side. It's Cade Proctor.
Yeah.
I'm really locked in on
Mm-hmm.
this guy from Alabama, offensive tackle. I'm super big on him right now. I'm sure my
Yeah.
my attitude will change right if I see some pass rushers once we get closer to the combine. But
Mm-hmm.
expect them to go out and win you back over. Like you said, it has to be done through the draft. When you bring in Caden Proctor and you start looking at this line, and maybe you do get Taylor Decker back on the cheap, but we're just in a position right now to get bigger, stronger, faster, and younger at a lot of positions of need. So I see this year as being a really fun year for us. Um, there's going to be a lot of depth falling back into the second round when it comes to pass rushers. We see it every year with this with the NFL draft. It's no secret. So I think look for the Lions in this second round to take some of those David Montgomery picks, right? And go and grab their pass rusher they want. Maybe like a TJ Parker from Clemson. He had 37 tackles with 5 sacks and a pass breakup. He had a big breakout pass sophomore season where he had 57 tackles, 11 sacks, and 6 forced fumbles. So when you're playing for a Dabo Sweeney team like Clemson, you're already
Yeah.
kind of playing in the pros, right? So he's six
Yeah.
foot three, 265. He's got solid size, quality instincts, and he's just been a pro since he got there. So I think this is where we see more of reload the farm on the free agency side, but go make some big key acquisitions in the draft, which again, guys, he's so good at doing, which is why
Yes.
I
Yes.
love coming to the draft now. And I think so many Lions fans need to understand that. Do you not recall pre-draft season when you had Matt Millen as your GM or you had Martin Mayhew as your GM, or the list goes on where you're just like, what the fuck are they going to do? We don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
We have a
Well, you got to.
really good drafting general manager.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just it's just one of those things. That's where Brad Holmes excels, and some people, I mean, I'm comfortable because I know what Brad Holmes can do in the draft. His record speaks for itself. The kind of guys he's picked up,
Right.
picking up
Right.
guys like Jameer Gibbs, finding Amon Ross St. Brown in the fourth round. The kind of people he's added to this team. But yeah, it's people want the big flashy free agency signings. I understand that, but that's not the way it is.
It's
And I'm
not.
still, we'll see. And I think he'll have a good draft. That's going to be another Hermdo guarantee. I think we're going to get a couple. I think we're going to get a couple really good starters out of this draft. Absolutely.
Right.
And I think there'll be plug and play guys. I think there'll be guys that'll really
And
round this roster out.
let's
And I
not
think he'll do a
forget
good job.
the key components to our defense right now are guys like Kirby Joseph who were later round
Yes.
picks, right? So we know Brad can knock those out of the park. So if Kirby says he's having a comeback player of the year type season, and you have Kirby Joseph, you have Brian Branch out there, right? and then you can find somebody who's a younger Kirby out there. I mean, this is where you start to see teams like Philadelphia, San Francisco, where they've had a general manager in place for quite a while with a head coach, where they've been able to build kind of like a formula, right? And you're able
Yeah.
to see that formula grow into something bigger and better and go, okay, this
Yep.
is, when San Francisco drafts somebody and you're like, I wonder who that is. They're going to do well. They just have a formula of getting the right guy, bringing him in, and doing something well with them. So there's
Hmm.
other teams out there too, Philadelphia, like we said, and then let
Yes.
somebody else go pay for these guys. Fall in love with a few of them,
Yeah.
but then once that formula, that next man up starts to happen, you can trust the process, right? We've heard that before,
Yeah.
but I really think this is where trusting the process pays off,
Yeah. I think so too. I'll trust Brad Holmes till it gives me a reason not to trust him.
right?
And for some people, that was the jumping off point was last season. I still got to give him one more year. If the Lions fall on their face, then I'll jump on the bandwagon. Me and the Do will be the Brad Holmes
Ugh.
top haters. And
Wonder if his
how
slimy
dare
ass
I
is.
invoke his name?
Well, if you say
But
his
it's
name
all good.
two
It's
more
all good.
times, he will appear in the chat.
He will appear in the chat.
I
Yes.
don't know if we want
But
that tonight.
yeah, I'm just we just got to. I just take it a day at a time with Brad Holmes. I'm just quite frankly, I think a lot of the Brad Holmes slander is racism, and I think we really have to do better. I think Lions fans have to examine their white supremacy and like dismantle their whiteness. So yeah, that's what I think. But ha ha ha. But yeah, let's just relax. Let's not freak out. I mean, the draft is coming in about a month, so that'll be fun. We're gonna try to do like a live show, a live
Yep.
draft. We'll have like some boards. We'll talk about this kind of stuff.
So I'm glad you brought that
We'll
up, right?
yes,
I
yes.
don't
Let's
know
talk
if
about
you've
something fun.
noticed. I don't know if you noticed, but I have more in front of me, more of a table, right? Not just so sucked right in onto my face. I set
Yeah,
up
yeah,
this area now to where, obviously, if you were to see it in full spectrum, not just half of me, there's a second spot here for you and a microphone. So yes, in the
yay,
draft we can have, and for more, hopefully more often, some different shows where we're both sitting here at the table talking because we're going to do, I think, a few different draft episodes. I think we do one where,
yes,
maybe in the next week, right? Maybe like this coming up week, we talk about
yeah,
how you and I do our own. We'll just do 3 rounds of just Lions, of who the Lions are picking. We'll auto
yeah,
simulate. Um, who the other teams pick, and we'll just kind of go for our guys who we want, right? And we'll have
yeah,
Mark's top 5, Hermdo's top 5, and we'll just try to make a
yeah,
case for who we think is going to be right outside of me talking about Caden Proctor, who we
yeah,
think Brad Holmes is going to go for. And then I think we bring in and we have a more elevated mock draft, right? I know Hitch said he wants to come for a mock draft and do one, but we all know how
yeah,
consistent he is.
yeah. Just with Hitch, it's just like you got to leave out the beer and cigarettes and hope he shows up.
Yeah.
But but it's just one of those things. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward. Spring is here. We're gonna get warmer weather, but let's address this comment. I trust Holmes, but at some point you got to stop falling in love with your own players. What would you guys do with Big Four Gibbs? What would you guys do with Big Four Gibbs, Laporta?
Hold on.
Who else did he have in there? Branch
Yeah.
and Laporta. I'd say
Well,
Gibbs. That's the one. Campbell, Branch, and Laporta. I say keep those guys, but it might get a little crowded. You might not have all the money. I mean, I know the cap is going up and whatnot, and we got some restructuring of deals, so might be able to swing that. But you're going to be up against it. At some point when you're signing all these guys to these deals, Gibbs might be the odd man out because I know the prevailing knowledge. You don't sign running backs. You don't pay running backs. That might be the one thing. Maybe you have to part with him. I hate to do it because I think Gibbs is generational, but that might be that's like the common knowledge. Our close personal friend Michael Valenti, friend of the
yeah.
show, Mike
Yeah,
Valenti,
yeah.
he's
The
always
dude's
saying
fucking
that.
icon. The dude loves him.
Yeah,
Praises
he's a
him.
good guy. I like Mike. He's all right.
Yeah, Mike's a good guy.
Yeah. I broke bread with him a few times. No, I'm just kidding. But
That's a good no, that's
yeah,
a
that might
good
be
question, and I think that's the main
yeah,
question, right? Because
that's a
that's
good
the
question.
arc.
Yes.
That's like okay, there's your log jam. So my take on that, and of course, Gibbs is you don't pay running backs, yada 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 yada. Okay, but then again, Campbell, Branch, and Laporta. What are okay? He's saying we can only keep two. Campbell is a must keep, right?
Yes.
Not every day where you can draft your all pro linebacker who can kind of anchor that position, right? I identify Hutch right as the line, Campbell right there. So I think when it comes down to it, I think Campbell and Branch are the two that you cannot take away. Um,
Yeah.
Laporta and Gibbs, man, both of those spots, both of those positions, running back and tight end, can be ever so interchangeable, right? It's always going to be the younger hand prevails in those positions. That's not how defense works. You can't just keep having rookies or really young dudes to be the backbone of your defense, right? We've seen it with the Ravens. We've seen it with all the good defenses where you have these middle linebackers and these safeties who are just the cornerstone of how that defense is ran. So,
Mhm.
to my opinion, right? That might even be Mr. Is that Timmy Greshak? If it is, hey, what's up, Timmy? Um,
Hey Tim, how you doing, buddy?
uh, Mine would be Campbell and Branch based on the fact alone that just defense wins championships. That's not a position you can draft young and always win on. So that's me personally.
Yeah, me, I don't really have a problem with that. I agree with you. I'll make a case. As far as Gibbs goes, I kind of laid out my case. As far as running backs are concerned,
Yep.
with Branch, he's had some issues here and there, and
Yeah.
Laporta, he's had some injuries and whatnot. So you got to play that, and Campbell's been pretty much rock solid as far as that goes. But those are different factors that play in. But you seem like a guy like you prioritize defense. I would say, I mean, if I got to make a case for like Laporta, I don't know if I'd pick him over Branch or Campbell, but I got to say, he's such a good dynamic third option in this offense. If JMO and
Yeah.
the Sun God aren't available, Laporta's a
Ugh.
guy that can get downfield. He can fit into your
Sorely
scheme.
missed this year. Holy shit, did we
Yeah,
miss him?
sorely missed. Sorely missed.
Oh,
He's a guy. He adds a lot. Tight ends. I'm not saying he's going to be the next Jimmy Graham or something, or the
no.
next Tony Gonzalez, but
There you go.
he's a guy. He's been excellent for us. He's been excellent for us. And I mean, I love all these guys so much. Do you accept fifth year option and then tag Gibbs? I was
Cousins
thinking about that. I was going to bring that up to you, Mark. I was going to bring up the franchise tag as far as Gibbs is concerned. What do you think about that?
I just again I don't think that's a Brad Holmes type move. So is it a smart move? Yes.
Hmm.
I could definitely see that as an option to play, but Brad just doesn't seem to do that, right? Say what you want about the JMO contract. I still think for what you saw these wide receivers get this year in free agency, that JMO deal's on the cheap, right?
Yes.
I just don't. I think Brad either has his mind made up on you, and we saw that with this free agency where some players are like, okay, you signed my replacement for the same amount. Well, your replacement's younger. We wanted youth. The 6 million wasn't the bigger idea. So, uh, yes, it's an option, but do I see Brad doing that? No, I just don't.
Probably not. I'm going to go ahead. I'll probably agree that take. That doesn't really seem to be Brad Holmes' MO. And
Yeah.
Brad Holmes, one thing, he's not a surprising guy by now. It's been what? This is year 6 of this. We know what to expect from Brad Holmes. I don't think he's going to give the tag
Yeah.
to Jameer Gibbs. I think he sticks to his plans. Kind of kind of boring free agency, and then you get really exciting drafts. That's pretty much what he's going to be doing. And I don't see him making this kind of move to keep JMO around. And if JMO is the odd man out in this, I'll be very sad. But that's just kind of the thing. We talk about that with this team, and how you got to cut guys you love, and you got to say goodbye to these guys. You can't keep the band together forever, and that's just the thing.
Well,
We lost. Yeah,
I was
go
going to
ahead.
say something he can do is Tom Kennedy. He will keep Tom Kennedy around forever
Yes.
as a practice squad wide receiver. He has been, I swear to God, I feel like Tom Kennedy has been on this roster since all of Brad Holmes is his timeline here. It's so
Yeah,
funny to see how some people come and go, but again, if Brad falls in love with you, you're Tom Kennedy. You're here to stay,
yeah,
right? So yeah, I think this year the bigger thing to focus on is who we lost, right? We lost age, we lost uh, injuries, and we lost let's just say heartburn, right? So
yes.
we had a couple of guys like Alex Anzalone, David Montgomery that gave you guys a little bit of heartburn from the hearts, from the love side of things. But guys, we got younger, we got faster.
Hmm.
I know we love Khalif Raymond, but for $6 million, let the Bears pay for him. Greg Dortch is younger. He's been with the Drew Petzing. He's fast. He's good on special teams. He's
Yeah, he fits
proven
the mold.
he fits the mold, right? And we don't have to get hung up on a fucking punt returner.
Yeah,
So
exactly,
you're gonna
exactly.
fall in love with Greg Dortch, right? Just
Look,
like
I'm
that.
getting the Dortch jersey, 3XL Dortch jersey, ordered to my house immediately.
I have "In Dortch We Trust" tattooed right here on my collarbone. It's in wingdings. But
Beautiful,
a name
beautiful.
I think you're gonna really love is former Central Michigan tight end Tyler Conklin, who quietly has caught 50 plus passes in 4 straight seasons, and he's just a quality veteran option in the tight end room along Laporta and Wright. And I think we just said it. We really missed Sam Laporta this year, and I would have loved to have a veteran like Tyler Conklin step up and be a consistent role, because what you had out there was just I think by the end of the season practice squad tight ends, right? They were mediocre at
Yeah.
blocking, and you knew they weren't going to catch. So quietly
Hmm.
getting stronger in those positions too. I'm super excited
I
about
think
Rock
so.
Sin. He was another one that I was really happy we brought back. He finished
Yeah.
played all 17 games, right? That's the dude wants to talk shit about injuries, but bringing guys back that work out that aren't injury prone is a lot. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's gonna be
absolutely.
interesting.
I got I got some additional notes. Yes, it will be interesting, but I got some additional notes um on kind of some grades here from some people around the league, but
Okay.
talking about like where their biggest improvement would probably be the interior offensive line with Juice Scruggs and Cade Mays. You know, they've gotten younger, like we were saying. They've gotten younger, more athletic in the middle. Mays is expected to be the center of the future following, Graham Glasgow's departure. So that was a smart move. Interior offensive line should be solid. Cade Mays fits that mold.
He does.
One thing they criticized, DJ Wanham and Peyton Turner. They do add depth, but the team still lacks a true blue chip pass rusher opposite Aiden Hutchinson. That's been a big. That's kind of been a glaring issue for Brad Holmes. Could he bring somebody in like that? Who was that edge? Do. We brought him up. Who was
Agree.
that edge? Cassius Howell. Could he bring in somebody like that in the draft? Maybe go DE. I mean, instead of Caden Proctor. I don't know, but that's just I don't know, just what I'm talking about. But also, the departure of Decker, unless they bring him back on like some sweetheart deal, that leaves a big void at left tackle that Larry Borum probably won't be able to fill alone. But so those are some concerns just as far as edge and offensive tackle goes. But I know we talked about adding those pieces in the draft. There's some guys out there as we get closer to the draft, probably address that more. Dortch signing was awesome. Guy is shifty.
We got a lot
I'm
of
not
Dortch love, dude. A lot of Dortch love.
Dortch. I'm not. I can't say. I'm a fan that he's fitting back into a Drew Petzing system. I have not watched a lot of Greg Dortch highlights. Juan was solid in Minnesota when he was paired with Hunter.
That's a
Oh,
good point. I didn't
that's
even think
true.
about that. That was
That's true.
that was a defensive line that would wreak havoc on the Lions and give us a hell of a lot of trouble.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's the little things that these guys are really good. And again, we're pairing him next to Aiden Hutchinson. So as long as he's in that right mindset to pin his ears back and have himself a season,
Yeah.
this is what we're looking for. But
I
you know
think
what's
I think Waddle will be solid. Yeah, I think playing next to Hutch makes you that much better. Hutch is obviously going to draw a lot of double
yeah,
teams. He's going to take the pressure off you. You know, if Wanham can, we saw him, with Hunter. If Wanham can, be a solid number two and kind of break through some lines, maybe he can do a little bit of damage, at least put some pressure on the quarterback. I think that's a solid move. It's a solid move. So
Hitch
maybe it's
coined
kind
it.
of under the radar. Maybe this is more of an under the radar kind of free agency. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate all the comments. So those are
Yeah,
some good,
thank you so
some
much. That was
solid
really good.
points. Yeah,
You
yeah.
Hitch coined it the beneficiary line and said, whoever comes here is going to benefit from playing with Hutchin, but who is going to take advantage of it the most? In each season, I think we're all waiting for that guy to like really step up and say, I'm going to do it, right? And that's what
Mm-hmm.
the Lions continue to do. So, it's funny. I start poking around because my mock drafts always start with Charlie Campbell. I think Walter Football, I think he's the best with mock drafts,
Yeah.
proven to be consistently almost usually right, like has the highest percentage accuracy. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Then I look around at NFL.com, pretty average. They already have us trading with other teams, that going down into the draft, right, to go and be aggressive for tackles that we like. So
Okay.
even some of these mock drafts, even though shitty they are, they pick up on Brad Holmes. They know when Brad
Yeah.
Holmes has a draft pick of like I think 9 picks this year. He's going to
Mm-hmm.
do something with that. He's not just going to stand put at
Oh
all
yeah.
9 of those positions and pick people. He's going to make some moves, right? So,
Yeah, that's his
um,
MO too. That's we talk about Brad Holmes' MO. That's what he's known for. He's going to be going up and down the board. He's going to be picking guys that kind of surprise you. Maybe a few, he might take some flyers on some guys, and but I think we get a couple, maybe even maybe one, maybe two, maybe three really solid starters. I mean, I'm sure. I'm sure Brad. I'm sure we're in good hands in the draft. So that's. I think a lot of the. I'm going to say this. I'm going to make a Hermdo guarantee again. I think of the lot. I think this draft will be good. I think he'll fill some needs, and I think he'll remind people of why he's a good GM. And I
mhm.
think this draft will get some of Brad Holmes haters off his back. Maybe not all of them, but I think people will kind of maybe go a little easier on our good friend Brad Holmes. But that's
You
just
know,
my opinion. I could be wrong.
we can't look this over, Hermdo. Every year in the
Yes.
draft, a team does something that shocks us, right?
Hmm.
Something that we go, oh shit, and it really a lot of that it depends on who's in the top five because those top five picks are so special and so powerful, right? Some year there are teams that are in the top five where they're just going to do solid things. Other years you get teams up there that do weird shit, right? The Raiders
Hmm.
have a number one pick this year, and they're known. Doesn't matter who the coach or the general manager is, they're known for doing weird shit in drafts.
Hmm.
So are they stupid enough to pass on Mendoza this year, right? Um, or are we going to see some weird, strange? Are you kidding me? You picked him at what position, right?
Yeah.
That's another thing I think we need to look at and try to figure out who's going to screw the draft up the most, right? Who's going to do some brown shit?
Yeah. That's that. Those will be some interesting storylines. I think Browns will always do Brown things.
Yeah,
Raiders have the potential to fuck things totally up. We see other teams, like the New York Jets, other teams, the New York Giants as well. The New York teams, they've had some pretty questionable drafts recently for a while. But yeah, that's going to be another storyline too. I mean, for all the praise we give Brad Holmes for his good draft picks, there's GMs out there that just don't really know what they're doing. Obviously, um, but yeah, that'll be fun to see. I mean, the draft is always fun. I mean, it's kind of like people say it's like the Lions Super Bowl, but
for
we'll see
many
who we can
years,
pick up.
sir. For many years, sir,
Yeah,
it is. It has been.
yeah, it was.
And I
Yeah.
think that's why people get so gun shy, right?
Hmm.
Okay, so as I brought up this whole, I had to check it out, right? Worst NFL draft teams recent by era. Okay, so uh, here's a good example, right? Chicago Bears comes up first team, right? Why they
Hmm.
struggle? Took Mitch Trubisky over Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson,
Ooh.
right? They
Ooh,
constantly whiff on wide receivers, Kevin White, poor quarterback development track record. So they have a pattern of panic drafting and bad evaluations. So I think we can take them off the table, though Ben Johnson's there. I think as long as Ben
yeah,
Johnson's there, they're going to be okay. Uh, I
yeah,
said Las Vegas Raiders, right? So famous
yep,
for massive reaches. They got Farrell at 4, Clemson defensive end. Missed on multiple first rounders in a short span. Pattern, we're smarter than everybody else syndrome. Then, like we
yep,
said,
yep.
you have your Cleveland Browns. Uh, they have 11 quarterbacks on the roster right now. We don't even
Johnny
have to bring that
Manziel.
up. Yep. Johnny
Yeah,
Manziel, Quinn, Whedon. They have just so many bad ones. And then
30-year-old rookie.
yeah. And then you look at teams like Jacksonville,
Mm-hmm.
who seem to be on the up and up, and they,
Yeah, yeah.
I kind of almost want to take them and say, I'll give you a shot, right? They haven't been around long enough or haven't done anything that stupid.
Mm-hmm.
But my God, you've got the Jets. Holy shit, right?
Ugh.
So, the Jets quarterback disasters, right? They missed and whiffed on Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson. They can draft talent, but they can't develop it. So
Yeah, no,
I
they
had to
can't.
bring that up, right? Timmy says to Raiders will turn over a new leaf with Brady running the show. See, you say that, Timmy, but I just
What is he,
okay.
the GM or something?
Well, he's a part owner, right, or a
Oh,
majority
okay.
owner in the Raiders.
Oh,
So um,
I
I
hadn't heard that.
You didn't know that? Yeah, so that was
No,
kind
I
of the
didn't.
one big thing with him being an announcer. But yeah, so okay, the comment section never always prevails.
Oh,
Jamarcus
Jamarcus
Russell.
Russell. I was thinking of him. I couldn't think of his name.
Oh,
Just classic,
dude.
classic.
So classic Jamarcus Russell story. They give him tape, right? And they tell
Yeah.
him on tape, and they give him a film tape, and they say, "We want you to watch it, and we want you to tell us pick the top 5 plays that you want to run, right? And come back with us." Well, he comes back to practice, and they say, "Okay, well, which ones did you pick?" And he's like, "All of them, man. I want to run all of them." They gave him a blank tape. There was nothing on the tape, right? And that's where they're new and then that they had fucking completely woofed on Jamarcus Russell
Oh
because
no.
that's my point, right? So just because Tom Brady is a majority owner, it's like he's
How much say is
concerned
he gonna have? Yeah.
exactly. And will that triumph shit like that, right? Where
Yeah.
Mendoza, in my opinion, has been the most sure thing to come out of college football in a long time, right? And I've been
Yeah.
very, very critical of college quarterbacks and kind of how they've lacked the Mendoza effect, right? And I think we're going to see that now that you have these NIL where everybody's moving around and you can really truly have a good season somewhere
hmm
and come to a big team. So yeah, just little things to think about. But I know we talk shit, but prior to Brad Holmes, we were no better. We were one of the worst
No.
teams at screwing up draft picks, right?
Oh
But
yeah.
that's what you'd
Joey
get. You
Harrington. Ugh.
you would get like where the Lions brass would have the right pick, dialed
Yeah.
in, and then Matt Millen was famous for calling right before, and he's like, give me give me Charles Rogers or change it to a wide
Give me the
receiver.
best available player.
Oh, gee, give me a
Oh
locker room guy. It's Tom
Christ.
F. and Brady. He'll have a lot to say. Okay, you're right, but will it matter? And will Tom Brady, right? Will Tom Brady, although he can be an amazing quarterback, um, this is about a brand, right? So the Raiders to him are just going to be as long as the brand is strong. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, just because look, Tom Brady's the GOAT. I don't think everyone has an issue with that. But
No.
I mean, as far as like running, how to successfully turn around a franchise as impoverished as the Raiders. There's been other
So
instances we
bad.
see yeah, well, like Derek Jeter having a stake in the Miami Marlins, and how that never really worked out. And then
That's a
you
really
see
great
other
comparison.
players. Yeah, the other players, like I remember Wayne Gretzky was the coach of the Phoenix Coyotes for a little while. obviously the hockey goat, but he couldn't coach his way out of a wet paper bag. And I mean, that's different
Hmm.
sports, granted. And I'm not saying Tom Brady's any kind of dummy or anything like that. I mean, obviously the guy probably eats, sleeps, and breathes football, but does he know the right moves to make? I mean, I'm sure. I mean, Mendoza seems to be a no brainer, but it's just like, is he going to be on the phone to the GM making these calls, and then is there going to be like a power struggle, like who really runs this team? I mean, if Tom Brady was in a position, maybe more like a Chris Spielman or something, like with the Lions, where he was like offering like owner. I mean, is Tom Brady going to be actually offering like counsel to the ownership? Is he going to be on the phone with Mark Davis when
Yeah.
Mark Davis is getting his famous bowl cut and being like, "Hey, this is who
This
you got to
me.
draft. This is who you got to fire. This is who you got to sign." You know, I mean, how much? What? I mean, hey, you might be right, man. But look, you might be right. I'm just saying, I don't think Tom Brady is going to be that invested in the team. He might not care. He's probably just in it to have some fun, to be, part
Well, it's a
owner of
football
something.
team in Las Vegas. I
Yeah,
mean, it's a
it's a
no-brainer,
football
right?
team in Las Vegas. I mean, you want a part of that. I mean,
Yeah.
the merch, the cachet of it. I mean, even though the Raiders stink, but I mean, what are they
Just
going to
like
do?
Derek Jeter wanted to be part of a baseball team in Miami, right? So,
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And it just
it's a
didn't really work
no-brainer.
out. I mean, he got the
No.
Yankees Giancarlo Stanton, but what are you going to
Yeah.
do? Now
What are you
Stanton's
gonna
like a cigar store Indian, but
No, but that's a good point. That's a good comparison. And again, thank you so
yeah,
much. We appreciate you hopping in the comments. But I also bring up, and I think to myself, okay, is this Las Vegas trading the pick away, or is this Las Vegas just going out and falling in love with somebody else in a really strange way? And I'm trying to see who's out there, and I just don't see anybody else trading up for him. I mean, Arizona, that's not a move that Arizona would do, right? The Jets, if they have them at 2, I don't see them moving from 2 to 1.
hmm
Tennessee already has Cam Ward. The Giants already have their quarterback. Cleveland already has 12 quarterbacks to pick from.
hmm
Um, but I don't think, I'm not saying this is a year you're going to see a run at Mendoza. I'm just saying that I think if there was ever a year for the Raiders to do something strange, don't count them out. Right? That's what they're known for.
yeah. I wouldn't say. I mean, yeah, you can have that haircut when you're worth billions. Thank you, Vincent. Good point. Doesn't mean he's not a douchebag, but you can't buy your way out of being a douchebag, unfortunately.
It's true.
Look at Elon Musk.
Oh
But
boy.
yeah, yeah, it's just um, we'll see. We'll see what the future brings. I mean, Mendoza, like you said, it seems like a sure shot. Seems like the simplest kind of thing to pull off.
He's a can't miss. I mean,
He's a can't miss. He's a can't miss prospect. I mean, the guy's got all the tools, all the talent. He took
yep.
Indiana to a freaking national championship and won the fucking thing. Believe it or not,
Yeah.
Indiana, stinky old corn husking, or not. I mean, Indiana's a corn state or whatever, but they got the natty. They got the natty thanks to Mendoza. But still, that's a hell of a thing, and he's a hell of a quarterback. And I think he'll take the Raiders to the next level. But you never know with this ownership group. But I mean, if Tom Brady has any kind of sway, I mean, he's probably going to be like, no, you're not going to be fucking around this draft. We're not going to be falling in love with some guy. We're not making any reaches. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see. I'll tell you what. We'll see in this Raiders draft if it's a straightforward draft and they're making shrewd moves and they pick Mendoza first overall and they're not reaching for guys. They're not making bad trades. They're not, they're not taking flyers on
Yeah.
guys. Then maybe we'll know. Maybe Tom Brady does have some say in it.
This will
If
be a
their
year to
draft,
see if Mr. Grushak is
yeah,
right. I think you're right.
I
Tim,
think so. I think
you're
so.
going to either prove
This,
us wrong or you're going to prove yourself right. One or the other.
yeah,
Same thing.
exactly. It's a win-win for you.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I mean, maybe Brady does have some influence. Maybe he is. He's he's threatened to shave Mark Davis's head or something if he doesn't draft right. But we'll see. We'll see how this goes.
Oh, that's great. Well, that's awesome. So yeah, a lot of good stuff to talk about. I think we
Yes.
covered we beat the Brad Holmes stuff down pretty good. We talked about
Yeah.
the free agents that we've brought in, and just to kind of recap, right? It's been bring them in on the cheap, bring them in young, bring them in, stack the positions, develop our own guys, draft our guys, pay our guys.
Yep.
Still, I think there's plenty of room and plenty of time to have a Taylor Decker reunion on a 1-year deal.
Yeah.
I think Lions fans might get a little bit of that headline bite because it's been pretty stale, right? So the market has been a right time for Brad Holmes to do this. We talked about your Red Wings, and we talked about
Yes.
how the goaltending continues to disappoint, but you still have the
Hmm.
Herndon guarantee for playoffs, which I'm still sticking with. We
Yeah.
talked about Kevin McGonigal and how his rise to stardom is
Yes.
pretty fun to watch, and I think it's going to be a fun
Hmm.
season for Tigers baseball. And then we talked about the Pistons and Cade Cunningham and how unfortunate
Yes.
that he has a collapsed lung, right? So,
Unfortunate.
but I think we're optimistic, like we said, that he's going
Yeah.
to return. And the one thing I can think of is when he does return, the amount of energy it's going to bring to that team. So if they
I think so
continue to
too.
look the way they've played right now, right? I
Yeah.
don't see anything negative happening. I see like
Yeah.
a
Hopefully he recovers quick. He
yep.
has a little bit of a break. He can recuperate. He can get he can get himself to, not that he was, he needs to get himself together, but he'll have some rest. He'll have some relaxation. He'll be back in time, and we can go make a run in these playoffs with a good Cade Cunningham with a fresh set of legs. So I'm remaining positive about it.
Well,
Do I
thank you.
want to make a Hermdo guarantee that Cade will be back in time for the playoffs? You know what? Let's go ahead and make it. I'm making these guarantees left and right today. Hermdo guarantee Cade will be back in time for the playoffs. Don't worry, Pistons fans. If he's not, and we lose in the first round, you can blame Mark. I'll tell you where Mark lives. You can go after him. But
I got close on that right state bet though. I almost, I
yes,
almost, somebody hopped in the comments during the middle of the game when Wright State was up and was like, "Dad, damn it!" And I'm thinking to myself, "Ooh, how good am I if I call this?" Post it again to social media, and Wright State even commented right under there. It said, "Yeah,
yeah,
thanks, fire up." Right. So, shout out to Wright State. I thought you
yes,
should have won. It's rigged, clearly. But there is a little March Madness we should probably talk about.
okay,
There has been some bracket busting. There's been some upsets. But yeah, from a state of Michigan standpoint, Michigan State and Michigan are still in it. Both teams look like they can handle their own. Louisville was the prey of Michigan State. And I thought Michigan did a really nice job against St. Louis, which had a lot of momentum. So, we still have a couple more games to play for the second round to finalize out. But I thought it was a pretty interesting first round. What about you?
I thought so too. I thought so too. The Duke game,
Ah,
the first
yes.
that got a little hairy with Siena, but then TCU was close too.
Yep.
That kind of had me going there for a little bit. I watched that game at the bar, and then Duke pulled away, and it was pretty much the end of the story. Final score, 81-58. St. John's in Kansas. That was uh, that was very interesting. It's a very close game, 67-65. They just barely edge out the Jayhawks. That was a good one.
Yep.
Louisville, Michigan State. Michigan State uh, pulling it out. We also saw Michigan and Michigan and St. Louis. That was a pretty close game too. Going into the second half, the St. Louis was hanging around, but now Michigan is in the round of 16. They're going to be playing either Texas Tech or Alabama, and they're playing tonight at 9:45. So about an hour from now,
Yep.
they're playing on TBS if you want to watch. So that should be exciting.
Well,
You got
Hermdall,
Nebraska just yeah.
how far into this score have you looked? Because so Tennessee upset Virginia, right? That's a number 6 over a number
Yes.
3. And don't look now, boys and girls, but Iowa is beating Florida 44-37. That's a 9 over a 1. Florida, trying to go for a
Oh
repeat.
wow.
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about a team who's primed to get knocked out early is your repeat team, right? So hard to do in
Yeah.
any sport out there. Um, yeah, Florida right now, boys and girls, is looking pretty rough.
Yeah. How about Texas knocking 11 seed Texas knocking off 3 seed Gonzaga? They're gone Zaga. Pretty pretty cool. I
Well,
mean, if you
pretty
like that kind of
cool
thing.
is too if you look at Texas's path to getting there too. Um, playing, I believe that was pretty sweet, right? So yeah,
Yes.
that's a team that if you had them in your bracket, you're smiling right now. I did not,
Yeah. Me either. Oh well, one of those things.
but yeah, I need
Just one of those
Purdue,
things.
I need Michigan, UConn, and I believe. Ooh, I don't know if I have Florida going to the Final Four. Um, Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I have. I got to check my bracket again. But yeah,
Yeah.
46-39 right now. Iowa is up with 14 minutes and 41 seconds left in the second half, right?
I'm looking
So,
at the score here. It's
whew,
51-39. Iowa over Florida.
see,
So
it just
they're
continues
pulling
to
away a
go
little
up.
bit.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. This is wild.
right?
This is wild. Jeez Louise.
Yeah, so
So yeah, we got a
that
couple
right there and
upsets.
then is a big bracket buster if that happens.
Oh yeah, very much so, very much so. Oh Lord have mercy.
That's
Lord
crazy to
have
think though.
mercy.
So then,
Yep.
we're looking like you said, we're looking like a Texas Tech Bama game, which I believe I have Bama as our winner in that one in my bracket. But
Okay.
yeah, fun March Madness so far. I mean, they're always fun, but this one I feel like
Yeah.
is extra special with Michigan State and Michigan both being viable teams.
Yes. Absolutely. It's always good to see the two Michigan teams in there, even though I don't know. I hated Michigan State for a while, but I
You
just
grow up,
I
right?
can only
You
have
grow
you
up.
grow up a little bit. Just like you can only have so much hate for them. I remember a lot of my friends, a lot of my coworkers when I worked as a custodian in Grosse Pointe. A lot of my coworkers were big Spartan fans, and I'd hang out with them. And I remember during the D'Antonio days, that one game,
Ugh.
I think it was the 2013 game, and the Paul Bunyan game, and what was that? Devin, what was his name?
Bush.
Devin, not Devin. Yeah, the quarterback we had, Devin
Oh,
Gardner.
Devin
Devin
Gardner.
Gardner, and he got sacked like 10 times or some ridiculous. He had a white uniform. It was like brown and gray brown and
Yep.
green near the end. But I remember that was an absolute beatdown. They absolutely embarrassed us. All my Spartan fans, all my Spartan friends were just like ragging on me the whole goddamn night, and I'm just the lone Wolverine there, just like, oh god, how could this be happening? But you know,
Yeah,
it's just one of those things.
life moves on, bigger things happen, and you stop fucking obsessing about rivalries. It's funny you say
Yeah.
that. My good buddy of mine, Dave Matuzak, who now lives over in Germany. Shout out to Dave. Um,
Hmm.
and sorry we didn't get to link up when you were home. But great sports guy, super knowledgeable. He's been in our chats a few times. I know he listens,
Yeah.
but he is a huge Sparty fan. And oh my God,
Hmm.
Hermdo, I was so obnoxious with him. Sorry, Dave, about Michigan, right? And neither of us went to the school. He's a Western Bronco. I'm a Central Chip, right? Again, rival schools. You think we'd argue about that? No, I just pestered him about Michigan State versus Michigan so much, and now it's to me, it's like, listen, I went to Central. Even that, I'm not gonna like die over this, right? It's sports. It's
Hmm.
fun. I actually miss when Michigan State was good because man, the Big Ten being strong is something that is always better for the state, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm hoping Sparty can get their act together.
Yeah. Sure. Vanderbilt
Yes,
Nebraska game was electric. Yeah, it was pretty
it
good.
was. It was. That's a game where, yeah, you do. So another game where it comes down to the last shot at the last second, right? And then you see
Hmm.
Kentucky get manhandled by Iowa State. That looked a little shaky at first, um, but yeah, I think for some reason, as I fall more in love with basketball and I'm starting to like buy into the NBA a little bit more, I'm starting to
Yeah.
appreciate what's coming out of some of these college basketball programs. Some of these kids are restoring my faith in good basketball. We'll see. I
Yeah,
mean,
I think so.
you're seeing teams like the Pistons and JB Bickerstaff put together offenses that run inside the paint and not just outside on the
Yeah.
perimeter. So, yeah, I'm really excited to see this Florida game, see how this finishes out.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think it'll be. We got a lot of good basketball in the state of Michigan, baby. A lot of good basketball. I like what I'm seeing. A lot of exciting stuff to talk about. I mean, if you're tired of defending Brad Holmes endlessly, we can talk more basketball, baby. We can talk more basketball. Hopefully, I'm not saying hopefully when the Wings make the playoffs, of course, Herm guarantee, but maybe
Yes.
we can talk some hockey. Or I can talk some hockey, and you can just zone out for a while. But I'm just being silly. But
Well, I mean,
yeah.
the
So we
hockey
got some good stuff to look
conversation,
forward to.
dude, is that's a realistic conversation to have this year because, like you
Yeah,
said, we're seeing now the beginnings of, or the beginning of what the Iser playing looks like when it starts to pay off. We saw a
yeah,
free agency, or not free agency. We saw a trade deadline where he went
yes,
out and made moves. Not the
yeah.
biggest moves that you'd want to see, but he started to
Positions of
say,
need.
yeah, he started to say, okay, I'm taking this serious and I want to like commit to making a push into the playoffs. We talked
Hmm.
about how this team started the beginning of the first half off with tons of excitement, right? All the youth came out, all the names that we've been waiting for showed up.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
then again, you're sorely reminded that is a long season in the NHL where you need depth and you need veteran
yeah,
leadership and you need more than just hot starts. So,
yeah.
wavering the ups and downs and the shitty goaltending, I'm back in on this hockey conversation, right? So,
Oh,
um,
good.
I'm excited to talk about that too. I'm excited because, dude, Wings fans, like you said, are crazy, Hermdo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Wings fans are nuts. I know it. I get all sorts of fun comments whenever I talk Wings. I always like talking Wings on stream too, so I don't have to make more goddamn videos. No, I'm just kidding. But
Well, and I think too, we need to get you a Red Wings. Yeah. So there you go. That Fultz trade was big, and
yes, that
that's
was
what
a
I'm
big.
talking about. That's sick.
He's
That
really anchoring that
signaled
top four.
that signaled to
Base
us
defense,
that
that is.
Steve is not just sitting up there
Yeah.
watching, going, wait till the next offseason and see how these guys do. He's up there making moves. But all kidding
Yep.
aside, we need to get you, if the Wings do make it past the first round, an old black and red leather jacket of Detroit Red Wings that all dads would
Hell
wear
yeah.
in the 90s. Um,
Hell yeah. I
it
get a
can
starter
see,
jacket for the Red Wings. Yeah.
ooh, that would be
Hell yeah.
nice. So
That'd be very sweet.
we need to dress you up nice and pretty for the Red Wings this year because I think you're going to be blossoming as with your Red Wings conversation.
My Red Wings conversations. People will love it. People would love it.
And they do love
But
it,
yeah,
man. We
that's
get a lot of
it's
love
good
from
stuff.
your hockey videos.
It's soon. It will be April in the D. We'll have
Oh
all sorts of
Jesus.
playoffs going on. We'll have the Tigers starting up. We'll have the Wings and the Pistons in the playoffs for the first time in a long time. So I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, there'll be a lot of excitement about that, I think. So yeah, go Wings, go Pistons, go Tigers, go Lions, go Michigan State. All of them. So
April in the
yeah,
D.
April in the D, baby. It's
That
springtime.
song
Weather's getting warmer.
that song just pops in your head. Does it not? Or you know what I'm talking about? The bumper song that they
Oh
would
yeah, I
always
remember that
play.
song.
Um,
Yeah,
and then they would have
April
the
in the D.
yeah. They
Yep,
had the
yep, yep.
competition one year to see who could come up with it, and they would always play like the almost the worst ones always. So
Yeah,
maybe we need to do that. I need to get a April in the D sound effect that I can add to this, and it's so funny. I talked about all these sound effects that I load and I just never use them. So
yeah.
Hobby for Bobby says I'll talk to my stepdad about the leather jacket. I think he can make
Thank you,
that
Bobby.
happen. Um,
Excellent.
but even if we could just get it, for you to wear for the show, that would be fantastic because,
Yeah,
I thought
I
about
look
that.
I look good in leather. I'll say that much.
Oof, God,
I'm a
that's what I
handsome
was gonna
lad
say.
when I got some leather on me.
You do look
Oh
good in
yeah.
leather. You were voted by our class, our graduating class, as most delicious in leather. Um, 2 years in a row, and
2 years in a row.
the first
Hell
time it's
yeah.
ever even happened 2 years in a row.
Hell yeah.
You know, the Dew called us a bunch of Kool-Aid drinking homers on the podcast that he's on.
Oh,
And I
do.
thought to myself, why not lean into it, right? Why not drench you in Red Wings leather from top to bottom, side to
Hell
side, all
yeah.
around? And why not just put me in all like Lions blue? I'll drink my Kool-Aid on there with my big chain and my I Love Brad Holmes shirt. So one of these episodes, I say we just go in as Kool-Aid drinking super fans and dress up to the umpteenth
Yes.
level.
Hell yeah, that sounds good to me. I'll get my Red Wings swag. I'll wear my jersey. I'll pick
Yep.
up some Red Wings pants. I saw this dude. I was walking into the party store. This guy walked out. He was swagged out with the Red Wing stuff. He had a hoodie. He had I don't know where he got him. I should have asked him, but he had these like Red Wings pants, and he had a nice Red Wings hat. Looked kind of like my hat. He was all decked out in Wings gear, man. He looked very sexy, but no,
Dude, you
I just
know,
like
we
he was. It
we
looked
have
pretty
a
cool. It
fan
was
base.
cool.
We've got some cool gear, right? Like
Yeah.
Tigers gear has always been very classic, right?
Yes.
Red Wings gear has always been very classic, and I think
Yeah.
the last couple of years they put some like fun spins. Right, the Tigers are starting to go throwback to the old orange in the '80s with their jerseys
Yeah.
this year. So
It looked
anytime
like the
they
Baltimore
nail it,
Orioles.
yeah, anytime your sports team is nailing it on the throwbacks, it means you're about to get some cool gear. We've talked about how the Lions stuff went from being absolute fart on a clothes hanger at Myers or Kmart to like $70 for a Lions t-shirt, and all their shit
Yeah.
looks really cool, right? So,
Yes.
um, the Red Wings are no spring chicken having cool gear, and I think it's going to be really sweet to see maybe some throwback 97 cup style gear to this team,
Yeah.
right? I think it'll be fun.
Very cool.
Frank Gifford suiting up for this season. Yes, Herb Welch. Thank you for staying completely locked into one of your time warps. Frank Gifford will be suiting up this season.
Yes, absolutely. I talked to Frank myself.
Yep.
He was over here the other day. We were having a few shots, and he's coming to town. Don't worry about him. So yeah,
Herb
he's
Welch,
already here.
class of 1944. He evaded World War II by staying in high
Yes.
school for 3 more years. Good old Herb Welch, right? Thank
Oh,
you
that's
for not
funny.
serving Herb Welch. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Herb. Appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah, I believe he actually went to St. Isaac Joe's. That I
Oh,
believe that I believe that's his parish. That's the parish that Herb Welch attended,
oh,
or
well,
still does.
interesting.
But he's one of those old school Catholics,
Yeah,
right?
the alma
Diehard
mater of
sports
Dave
fan.
Coulier. Yeah,
Yeah, you know what? And can we seriously talk about that for a second? So, the city that leans into Dave Coulier is a pretty whacked out city, right? Like, no offense to Dave, sorry, but you were famous on Full House back in the early '90s, and outside of that, that's it, right? So, when that's your
hey,
claim to fame, and you
hey,
change a whole street to Dave Coulier
whoa,
Way, Jesus.
whoa. Dave Coulier is a St. Clair Shores legend. I can only feel parts of myself. Can I be one of your appendages? Can't do it anymore with Hitch.
Yeah,
Hitch just smoking
his
hand.
just smoking hand just faded away. No,
Oh
don't even
no.
defend Dave Coulier, right? So, I don't care if Alanis Morissette wrote that song about him. Tom, the city that you and I grew up in, we deserve better than that.
Oh shit, that's funny. That is funny.
But you know
God
what?
damn.
It should change though because Hunter Brown, who is the starting pitcher and potential Cy Young pitcher for the Houston Astros, is from St. Clair Shores and went to Lakeview. So there is
Yeah,
promise, right? There is up and coming promise. We have all state cross country star Bobby Lesage, who's from Lakeview as well. That's an
yeah.
impressive feat. So we've got some celebrities.
Very, very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so.
He was they called him a young Steve Prefontaine from if I recall.
Yes, I remember him being called that. Very
Yeah.
yes, quite a
Yes.
few times.
It's
Quite a few
accurate,
times.
accurate representation. But yeah, no, it's funny. We talked about it too. I coined this as a Hitch Watch episode. The weather, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, or if you don't know, is changing here in Michigan and getting warmer. So we anticipate Hitch to be starting to try to attempt to jump onto some of these episodes. Right,
Yeah,
the weather's getting warmer. His garage is getting less of a thing to do. He can go out there and smoke more, drink more. He can, he can just be one with his environment. So,
yeah.
um, I would say probably 2 weeks before the draft, anticipate him trying to log in. We'll see.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see. Don't want to guarantee Hitch and like not have him show up. We don't want to rob people of Hitch. We
Yeah,
can't guarantee Hitch and then break people's hearts. We would never do that to you. When Hitch is ready, he'll be here. Hitch
yeah,
will be here.
yep.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
He will be smoking, but he'll be here.
Yes, he'll be smoking and he'll be drinking a lot and he'll be very
Yes.
bald and he'll have issues, but it's okay because we love Hitch and we support Hitch in all of his endeavors. So yeah. Oh lordy, he won't let me talk to the non-smoking hands.
Oh, that's great. That's great. God bless the
Oh,
United
good
States.
stuff.
Hermdo, what else do you got here, buddy? We've been on here for about a buck 30. What do you wanna wind it up with?
I think I covered pretty much everything.
Yep.
I said my piece. We had a little blurb about the Red Wings. We talked Kevin McGonigal for a little bit. We covered pretty much all the topics, all the teams. We covered the brackets in the NCAA. I'm good. I'm good. Unless there's something you want to bring up, but it's getting to be that time. I gotta go. I gotta go sleepy by pretty soon. So it's
Yeah,
it's getting close to old Hermdo's bedtime.
it is getting close to Hermdo's bedtime, and I just want to remind everybody to like and subscribe. We really appreciate this page is taking off. We're having each week that we do this every Sunday night live 7:30 on YouTube. We're gaining more viewers, we're getting more people in the chats. It's driving a lot of good conversation. I do want to encourage anybody out there that knows us or doesn't know us. If you do want to come on, it's real simple. I can send you a link. You don't have to come to my house or Hermdo's house, or you don't have to go into Hitch's garage. Whatever you do, don't go into his garage.
No, no,
Nothing works in there. Don't fall for it.
yeah,
But in all seriousness, it's a quick link. You can pull it up with your phone. You don't have to have expert podcasting equipment. But yeah, we want to get some people back on. We're about to hit a big time in sports where, like Hermdo said, April and the D. It's a hot time where everything's kind of ramping back up again. So, like and subscribe. We appreciate it. And yeah, he tries drinking tricks with his penis. Exactly. All right. So we've got Hitch's
yes.
smoking hand taking over, but um,
It's getting into adult territory now.
it is. So thank you, boys and girls. We appreciate it. And we will talk to you really soon later.
See you later.